white box. It says here the YN608. The full number, as I understand, is the YN608C. C meaning the variable color temperature, I think. Because the 608W is just white, 5500K. This one is variable, 3200 to 5500. So let's see what's inside. Okay, here's the little handle. It's got the 1/4 threads on there. And it's hollow on the end, so it can be stuck onto things, I think. You can just stick it in your finger. This must be what the handle was in. It's about the right size. I'd say this is not packaged very well. But it does. And a nice dust cover case. Unzips about 1/3 of the way around. Some static shock, and there it is. The ring light. On the back, there you can put two. These are the Sony, what is it, FP style. And then the power adapter spot here, and release buttons for the batteries and a power switch there. Right here is where the remote goes in, which also acts as the controller. Warranty card, a manual. There's the English part. YN608 is a brand new type of LED video light, specially designed for and made for live video and selfie. Then there should be the remote. Here, yeah. Okay. A couple of silica gel packets, a sticker that says it passed quality control, and the remote. So you can see here 4 buttons and a center button, power and CH channel, I guess. Like the light itself, the remote comes with no batteries. Takes 2 AAAs, and there's a screen protector on the front. And separately, I purchased the power adapter for it. Comes with a very long cords on either side, which should be nice. Feels pretty solid. There it is. You can see by default both sets of LEDs are on. You can see the amber and the white ones individually.
Hello again. So the kids are in bed and it's dark outside. I waited, so now the only light on my face is the ring light here. Maybe, I guess, a little bit of light from this monitor and the monitor that's hooked up to the camera, but basically this is the only thing illuminating me. It's currently at 75%, I don't know if you can see it there, 75% on the 5500K LEDs. So that brings me to something that I kind of dislike, but I think I'll get used to. Rather than having a dial or a control that runs you from the 3200K up through 5500K and blends automatically for you, it just, you dial in what percentage of brightness do you want on the 5500K LEDs, what percentage of brightness do you want on the 3200K LEDs. So for right now, I'll go ahead and dial it all the way up to full power and all the way down. Ooh, spooky. All right, and that's back to 75 with the 5500K LED. Now I'm going to bring in the 3200K LEDs and bring those up to, those are now going to be at 75% as well. So it goes from 0 to 99. So I guess technically this is like 76. But anyway, you can see it's very bright. I'm probably overexposed there. Definitely warmer, so I'm going to get rid of the 5500K LEDs, which should fix brightness, but definitely turns me into Mr. Orange Man. Insert political joke here. And then I'll go ahead and dial the 3200K LEDs all the way up. So that is full brightness on the 3200K LEDs. And full brightness on the 5500K LEDs. Let's see, what if I did, so if I wanted it to be equal to 75% on just one, I would need to do, man, it's been a long day. What's 75% of 50? It's gonna be half of 75, which is 35, 36, 37. So I need to set these both to about 37 or 38. Okay, so this theoretically should be the same exposure if both sets of LEDs are equal brightness, and if the percentages are correct, because power change may not directly relate to brightness change. But theoretically, this should be the same brightness with all LEDs on at 37%. Should be the same as having half the LEDs on at 75%, 74. And I think it does look pretty similar. So I'll take it down here. Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, let's pause really quick. I just want to show you a still frame from the section that had the mixed LEDs, both at 37%. Now here's the 5500K LEDs at 74%. And here's the 3200K LEDs also at 74%.
I think it's one of those things where you'll get used to it, adjusting the brightness. It sure would be nice if it had a dial or just a setting where you set the color temperature on here. But of course that would take a lot more calibration, testing at the factory and development and that kind of thing. One thing I've noticed in Yongnuo products across the board, this is the first one that I've owned, but I've used friends' flashes and other LED lights and things like that. It's definitely a cheap brand in many, many senses of the word, but they tend to build things fairly well, acceptably well, I guess I could say, and they cut corners in ways that don't kill the performance. They might hurt the performance a little bit, they might hurt the user experience a little bit, but they don't just make a product unusable or bad. There's also sections on this remote for red, green, and blue, and it appears that there are 8 channels that it can communicate on. So I'm guessing that you could sync this up to other lights. And for example, I know they have a light wand, sort of like an ice light, but it has RGB LEDs, so you can dial in exact color temperatures and mixes and things like that. I'm guessing that the red, green, and blue channels are on here for their other products, so that you could use this remote with other things, which is nice. Another thing is that this remote is the only way to control it. If you put it here on the stand, it kind of locks in place and you can still use it, in which case it becomes the controls on the thing. And according to the documentation I found online, I didn't check in the manual yet, but if there are no batteries in this, you can still plug it in and use it to control the light, which was a relief, because if you had to rely on batteries in the remote and batteries on the light, that'd be, annoying. Let's move this arrangement. I just have this set up on a microphone stand with a mic stand, a 1/4-20 adapter, and then that's on the bottom of the light. So I'm going to move this over. So one thing I did notice with this, when I just had it kind of pointed at the ceiling, is it seemed to be a little bit of a magenta cast, which I may be able to figure out in post-production here a little bit. Seemed just slightly magenta, and it seemed like you got more of that forward and less of it off to the side. It was more blue off to the side, and there was definitely like a magenta glow around the middle. So that's interesting to me. One other thing I want to check on here, how much, doesn't look like there's a ton of flicker, and of course using batteries that would take care of it, but I'm on the AC power adapter. So when AC power converts to DC, if the rectification isn't done perfectly or it's not that smooth, you can end up with flicker, which is a weakness of LED lights. Not so much in the lights, but in the supply, they require very pure DC current. So that's -1 for the power adapter maybe versus using batteries. What else? I should have like scripted this out, but I just got this today, and it seems like it just came out. I haven't been able to find any other information about it online except people selling it. So I bought it so that I could review it, get it on YouTube, and hopefully be really helpful to some people. So if this was helpful, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Here it is at, let's do like 5% brightness for both. Get up right up close here. This light is 20.5 inches across, I think. I'll put it on a title. This light is that big. It seems like it's going to be really useful, so I'm excited for it. It says it's for selfies, so I'm going to take one, and we'll do it with, here's 35% brightness with both LEDs. Get my phone up here. And that's with the front-facing camera on a LG Nexus 5X. So I'll spit that right into the video now. You can see what that looks like. It's really fun to play with the remote, by the way. Prior to this, my lights were just these. These here. They're, I think the brand name was Flow Light. They're like tiny knockoffs of Kino Flow, whatever those are called. They've served me really well. They are fluorescent, obviously. They're 5500K. And they cast just a little bit green until they warm up. After a few minutes, they're very spot on, consistent color. Here you can see a video I was working on, taking apart this truck. So here's the setup I was using for this video here. I think for part 2, where I hopefully actually fix it because parts are on the way, I will switch over and use this guy, probably just overhead, looking down, and we'll see how that works.
It was at this moment that the audio and video dropped out. Okay, so I don't know why my camera stopped recording. Maybe I bumped the record button. But that's pretty much it, though. All I had left that I thought I was recording was the closing notes. So here we go again. Now, a good hour later, because I've been editing. So overall, I think, like I said, I think this is going to be a really useful tool, very handy to use. I can tell in the monitor my fluorescent lights, which are currently over here, are definitely a little bit more green. This is definitely a little more magenta. So I don't think I'll be able to use them together because obviously that's not just a warm, cool color temperature thing. But I'm hopeful that this will be a good light for me to use in other applications by itself and with other LED lights as I get more. One other thing that I wanted to make note of is in the editing process, there's some buzzing and some other issues that were happening in the audio. That was not caused by this light or my fluorescence at all. That's due to the way that I had the microphone hooked to the camera, and I was trying to make it easier on myself and didn't. So I had to use some noise reduction to get rid of a buzz that was there. Now I'm recording the audio separately, and I'll sync it up in post, and this section should be much better, I hope. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section below. I'll do my best to answer any questions that come up. I want to be helpful for you if you're considering this light, and if you don't mind, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like the video. I would really appreciate that. The main purpose of this channel is just to cover projects I'm working on. That's a very, very broad term, which goes against what YouTube people say you should pick one thing for your channel to be, but I like different things. So if you like different things, subscribe. I've got some woodworking videos, working on this RC car, like I just said. My next video for that should be coming soon. There are parts in the mail, and then occasionally reviews or things like that. So I appreciate you, and you have a great day. Thanks. Let's go full Casey. Just focus. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Casey.
Not really, I don't know you, but you seem like a great guy.